Welcome back to the RSL Rooster recap of the DC United Real Salt Lake game that happened last night on June the 14th. Um, sorry if I have a little bit of a sniffle. My allergies are going a little bit crazy today. But I wanted to talk about the game and a little bit of what's coming up. So last night we won in a 2-0 game. I think it's pretty clear that it was one of our cleanest games of the year, not only in the fact that we scored 2 goals, which is double our average, but also that DC didn't really have any chances, especially in the second half. In the first half, maybe they had a few small chances, but Rafael Cabral made one save. It wasn't really he didn't really have to do anything for it, but it went right at him. So it was like a clean game. It was like we had all of the chances and it went pretty well. So um, let's get into the player ratings, or at least like a recap of each player. So for that, I'll pull up the RSL Rooster player ratings. Okay, here we go. And so for Rafael Cabral, I mean, like if you're going on a scale of average, this was an average game for him. He didn't have to do anything, and he did just about what you would expect from possession. So I'm going to keep him with a 6. My man of the match is actually going to be Alexandros Katranis. I think he was absolutely outstanding. Um, he created the assist on the second goal. He created another really great chance in the 65th minute. He had a good cutback in the 62nd minute, and he created a shot that had to force a really good save in the 17th minute. So for him, I mean, really, he probably deserves an 8, but maybe it's an 8.5. Brian Vera, he did. Now, one thing about Katranis, he did have like pretty much a howler. He did have a howler in the 3rd minute, where he just gave the ball away in our third. Luckily, they couldn't do anything with it. Um, Brian Vera and Justin Glad, I'm both giving 7s. Each of them both had like a few good offensive contributions, and but other than that, they were stout defensively. Um, exactly what you want. And then Caliscan, I'm also going to give a 7. I think he had a good game. He had some good combination up high in the field in the 30th minute, and he didn't get exposed once. I don't think he got exposed once. Then for Pablo Ruiz, I think he is probably getting close to an 8. Like he was probably close to an 8 today, but I'm gonna give him a 7. Yeah, I think he gets a 7, but it's probably like a 7.5. Probably a 7.5 is what he deserves. I have him making 3 significant like goal creating chances, and then in the 99th minute he won the ball in the attacking third. Passed it to I think Peel, who was wide open, who then couldn't beat the man. Passed it back to Ruiz, and then he couldn't score it, but it was still pretty good. And then Palacio, I'm also going to give a 7. I think he is like a straight 7, not necessarily a 7.5. I don't think he really messed up too much, and he had one good moment, or one really good moment. I remember in the 66th minute, he had a really good challenge. He made a really decent long pass, and so I think 7 is really good for him. Now I'm also going to give Diogo Gonçalves an 8. You know, I think if you give it, you have to take it, and I think he did a really good job. You know, he did what you would want an attacking 10 to do. He held the ball up and he made an incredible pass for the opening goal. And I also have him having a really sharp dummy in the 34th minute and then a really good line breaking pass. I think it's like probably a 7.5, but just like to help people out, he needed this. So I'm going to give him an 8. He's probably more of like a 7.5 performance for me, but just I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8. He deserves it. And then Xavier Gozo, I'm also giving an 8. Now he is probably also a 7.5, but he's 18, so I'm giving him an 8. He had 3 1v1s. He had 3 1v1s, and he scored one of them, which for an 18-year-old is fine. But I think everyone can tell that this kid will get chances to score goals in any team pretty much. Like, I see so many people compare him to Thierry Henry, and it's because he has that pure athleticism where he can get in behind every single game. Every single game he can get a 1v1, and it's so Henry-like. It's really crazy. And in the early parts of Henry's career, he also did, like, Henry, just like when he was 18 years old, breaking through, he wasn't scoring like 20 goals a season. I think his first season he had like 4. But I think Gozo, obviously he's not Henry, but I think he has the potential to be a really good athletic and direct attacker in Major League Soccer and potentially in Europe. So really happy with that. I'm giving him an 8. Johnny Russell, he didn't play much. But he did get the opening goal. I'm going to give him a 7. He got the opening goal. It was a good finish. Probably should have been saved, but scoring a goal matters. So I'm giving him an 8. Willy Agada had pretty much a full-on nothing burger game, cardio session. Give him a 6. Pablo Mastroeni, I'm giving him an 8. 2-0 win. No, I'm giving him a 7. He didn't really change anything up too much. I did like his substitutions, but he got the boys to get a win without Diego Luna, and that gets you a... No, I'm giving him an 8, but it's probably, again, like a 7.5. Now with the subs, Hazard Khani, he had a really good turn in the 70th minute that eliminated 3 defenders. That alone, giving him a 7. He's 17 years old. He gets a 7. Peel, he got some confidence today. He had a great goal, which was offsides, and in the 84th minute, he won a ball that sprung a counter. Junka, I'm also giving a 7. He megged the guy in the 90th minute, had a really good offensive moment, and in the 98th minute, he progressed the ball 40 yards up the field. So, good for him. Wolf, I'm also giving a 7 because of that incredible assist that ended up being offsides, but he did nothing wrong. So I'm giving him a 7 for that as well. And then Lachlan Brook, I'm giving a 6 because he didn't have too much time to do anything. But those are player ratings for this game. And let's see what the averages are. So far, what you guys decided the man of the match was... Oh, yeah, Katranis. So it looks like most people agreed that he was about an 8 today. An 8 out of 10. And then second man of the match would have been Gozo, which makes sense. And then with Russell and Gonçalves pulling it up a little bit behind them. With Vera with a 7.5, which is nice. And then one thing I will say that's interesting. I looked at the fan player ratings, and Lachlan Brook, who played 5 minutes, someone gave every single player a 5, except Lachlan Brook, who they gave a 10. Which I just think it's funny. You guys can put whatever you want in the fan player ratings, but I do think it's pretty funny to me that someone gave every single player a 5, except Lachlan Brook, who they gave a 10. In a game that he played 4 minutes. But yeah, that's about it. Now back to how everything shapes up. I think this puts us in 12th place. I think we jumped 1 team in the West. Let me actually make sure about that real quick because I don't want to be telling you guys anything wrong. Yeah, now we're in 12th. So 9th is what we need to make the playoffs. And we are currently 4 points back. Which is, it sucks. We're not good enough. 18 points from 18 games is bad. That's objectively horrible. But we don't have too many hard games. We have LA in the next month, but other than that, we don't have anything crazy. Hopefully, we can get a few points until Diego gets back. But yeah, it looks like we're probably going to be hovering around that 11, 12, and 13th spot for the coming weeks. And if we can't pick up points, we will drop further. So, it is a little bit hard to predict what's going to happen because we don't have Diego Luna. We've only played one game without him, which we won, but it was against DC, who's horrible. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen in the next few weeks. If you want my prediction, I think we probably average 1 point a game without Diego Luna. So I think we maybe in the next 4 games we get 3 points until we get Diego back, which I think isn't great, but it's no, that would be bad. That would be horrible. That would be very bad. So let's hope they can pull out some results like they did today. I think one of the good things that we saw was that we were able to dominate a game at home. That's always nice, but it was against DC. We'll see when we play against LA if we suck, which we'll probably lose to LA. But maybe once we play like that Houston game, we play Houston in like 3 weeks. I think when we play Houston, they're a decent team. They're one above us. They're in 11th place, but they're not that bad. They're not like a bad team. If we beat Houston, it would be like a very good result. So I think that is probably our litmus test. If we see that we beat Houston without Diego Luna, maybe we've got a chance to make the playoffs this year. As far as attackers go, I have heard nothing. I have heard nothing about attackers. Normally I know a little bit, like just by like being around. I hear rumors, and all I've heard is that one person who is near the club is not reliable. Not reliable. They are wrong all the time. Said, should I leak it? That's all they said. So now does that mean that like maybe there's something in the works? Maybe, but like we'd assume there's something in the works as far as a striker goes. But I don't think there's anything happening close. I don't think there's like a pre-agreement agreed for anybody. And then there is that rumor to that Colombian winger who I forget his name. It starts with an A. It's like Andamargino. You don't need to know too much about him. We're not going to sign him. I really, really doubt we're going to sign him. He's got a career high of 5 goals in a season. He's 28. His career best is like 5 goals in a season. There's no way we sign him. There's no way we're that dumb. But think it's worth at least telling you about. But yeah, so as far as the transfer rumors go, there is nothing except for that one guy who I saw who tweeted, should I leak it? As if, maybe he knows something that's happening. Yeah, that's about it. I will be out of town until next Sunday, actually. Yeah, I'll be out of town for the whole week. So I will not be able to cover too much. So I hope everyone has a great week. Make sure you follow RSL Rooster on Twitter. Make sure you follow or you subscribe and like this video. Make sure you check out rslrooster.com for updates. And thank you so much for watching. And I will talk to you later. Bye.